You held me back when I tried to move on from your life. So you stole my life for clarity. So hold me back, now you're here. Cause I'm mad, show no fear. Wanna let you know just how it felt. Oh no, 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 no. Don't you think we could? There's a way we could be. No, oh no, 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 no. I know the way you look at me, I know it too well. Now I'm bulletproof. You might find you're gone, but I'm flying high. I'm bulletproof. Don't ever touch the ground. You can never bring me down. You can never bring me down. Can never bring me down. Cause I'm bulletproof. Yeah, I'm bulletproof. We've been up, we've been down, trying to figure things out. End up losing myself in this but I'm done being down. Gotta end it all now. I won't never turn it round again. Oh no, 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 no. Don't you think we could? There's a way we could be. No, oh no, 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 no. I know the way you look at me, I know it too well. Now I'm bulletproof. You might find you're gone, but I'm flying high. I'm bulletproof. Don't ever touch the ground. You can never bring me down. You can never bring me down. Can never bring me down. Cause I'm bulletproof. Cause I'm bulletproof. Cause I'm bulletproof. Yeah, I'm bulletproof. You might find you're gone, but I'm flying high. I'm bulletproof. Don't ever touch the ground. You can never bring me down. You can never bring me down. Can never bring me down. Now I'm bulletproof. You might find you're gone, but I'm flying high. I'm bulletproof. Don't ever touch the ground. You can never bring me down. You can never bring me down. Can never bring me down. Cause I'm bulletproof. Yeah, I'm bulletproof. Cause I'm bulletproof.
Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. It's Sunday. I'm losing track of the days. Sometimes in this little royal bubble, it feels like we've been sucked into a vortex and spit into another dimension, and it's just like, what is going on and what is this life? Oi, yeah, a lot to say today. And yes, I will be allowing speakers on because I'm pretty sure that you've got a lot to say also. Can we get one day apiece? Can we get one day apiece, please? I just can't wait for Meghan to drop archetypes because then I feel like we'll finally have something like nice to focus on. Yes, happy Juneteenth to all my fellow Black Americans. Happy Juneteenth to you. And what a strange irony that on Juneteenth, the palace decided that they were going to try and pull some ish on Meghan. The timing of all of this is very, very strange. Mere 2 days before William's Big 4-0. And I don't know if it's because those features that they did in the lead up to his Big 4-0 really just made him look useless. All they really talked about were his big houses, the house move, and his work with the homeless that he's going to be doing while he's moving into his fourth house. So I don't know if this is a way of burying that. I know that there's also the whole controversy with Carrie Simmons, Boris Johnson's now wife, former baby mama. I will never let it go that the Conservative Prime Minister had a baby mama. So it could be that they're just trying to bury other things as well, but it's all just, it's very strange timing, and I think that it almost would have been better for the palace to actually just not say anything and act like none of this ever happened than to release the statement. Because now they've opened up yet another can of worms. They just keep opening more and more can of worms. But anyway, let's get into today's intros and then we'll get into all of that. Hello everyone for joining the podcast. Please do thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Let's get to 10,000 please. And yeah, sorry, I did have to push back the broadcast because so many things were coming up, and then I was also making TikToks. Sorry, one day we will have like a set broadcast like time. I'm working towards that. It's just not something that I can commit to at the moment, but thank you as always for your patience and support. Also, happy Father's Day. Yes, Kim Hamilton, happy Father's Day to all of the amazing dads. And I guess we can actually, there's almost 400 of you in the chat, so I think all the usuals are here. And yeah, let's start there. Let's start somewhere positive. Happy Father's Day to all of the amazing dads who are there for your kids, who show up for your children every single day. It goes without saying that I think Harry has become an amazing man and is an amazing father, an example to his children, is leaving an amazing legacy for his children. You know, I feel like that's something our generation is missing nowadays. Provided you choose to have children, some people don't. Some people choose not to have children, and that's fine. But provided you do choose to have children, the idea of leaving legacy and leaving something for your kids that they can be proud of. And I think that Harry and Nacho, his brother Nacho, are incredible examples of this. And also shout out to the mothers raising kids on their own because father isn't there. I think it goes without saying that Harry is the man he is today because of his mother. So we say thank you also today to Princess Diana. But I don't know if Harry would be celebrating today because is American Father's Day the same as UK Father's Day? Maybe he might be celebrating, I don't know. But yes, happy Father's Day to anybody celebrating today. Also, just a quick throwback to the bench, and just a reminder of Meghan's statement at the time when it was released. She said, "While this poem began as a love letter to my husband and son, I'm encouraged to see that its universal themes of love, representation, and inclusivity are resonating with communities everywhere. In many ways, pursuing a more compassionate and equitable world begins with these core values. Equally, to depict another side of masculinity, one grounded in connection, emotion, and softness, is to model a world that so many would like to see for their sons and daughters alike. Thank you for supporting me in this special project, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex." And yes, it's not only a New York Times bestseller, it's also been translated into numerous different languages. So the beautiful message of the bench to fathers, sons, and anyone else, that beautiful message of compassion and kindness resonates with is being spread all over the world in multiple languages. Let's see. Janice, if the report was private, why did the rules publicly leak? It would be buried. Yeah, exactly. They're really trying to cover their backsides at this point. And I think Kensington Palace is. I don't even want to see the scenes in those walls today, because they must be losing their absolute minds. Yes, Sister Ed, I bought the bench for my grown self. I can tell that you've been watching my channel for a while. Yes, I do still have my copy of the bench. Okay, so just one other thing before we get to the meat and bones of today. There was this article that came out in the Times, and it was Camilla saying it's not easy to find time together with Charles. And as many people pointed out, why? Because you found plenty of time together when he was married to Diana. So clearly, Clarence House PR don't know don't know how to help Camilla to phrase things in a way that doesn't lead to epic clapbacks on the internet. Because really, it's not easy to find time together with Charles. You had all the time in the world when he was married, and so surely you should have all the time in the world now. I do wonder if after all of these years, all of that excitement of the affair is now gone, and now they're just like a lot of people who get together after affairs, where once the spark has gone, it then becomes boring. And the problem is, if you got him as the mistress, and then you become the wife, there's nothing to say that he won't get another mistress. So yeah, that's Charles and Camilla for you. Rosa, I can't stand Camilla. Yeah. I don't think it'll be anyone. Yes, Edith, the royal family lied is trending in the UK. It's also trending in the US, and I think Canada as well. Josh, so tardy for the party. Well, you're just in time. Right, on to the meat and bones of today. This nonsense. The palace talking about burying the so-called report on Meghan's bullying. Now, initially, when the palace released a statement about Meghan's so-called bullying, it was Wednesday, the 3rd of March. So this was just days leading up to the Oprah interview, in a clear attempt to distract from the Oprah interview, but it could not be more obvious what they were trying to do. Now, after the Oprah interview, it then came out that the individuals, the so-called individuals who were bullied by Meghan, had not only receded and pulled back they had asked for the bullying allegations to be receded, and it also came out that they were not the ones that put forward the allegations in the first place. It was Jason Knopf. And so really what you have here, I believe, and I think many people have worked out, that it is really Jason Knopf, Kensington Palace and Kensington Karen here, toasting what I believe was a pot of dead insects. This is all really coming from them and the hench men and women in Kensington Palace, who concocted a whole lie in order to make Meghan look bad. And you're really going to tell me a group of people who hired Simon Case, one of Boris Johnson's own men, to be their PR person, who flew an empty plane to pick up the Sussexes, to pick up the Cambridges, to make the Sussexes look bad. People who have used every means necessary, hiring Tory henchmen, having their psychopathic friends in the press bully Meghan, having staff lie about Meghan. You want me to believe that it was Meghan that was the bully and not these people? Legs, Valentine Lowe is trying to distance himself. Well, he can try to distance himself all he wants. It's him. We actually have him on audio on a podcast admitting that he knew about Meghan's suicidal ideations around the time that they were actually happening. So well before the Oprah interview. So he's never going to be able to distance himself from this. The Royal Rota right now know that they are part of one of the biggest smear campaigns, I think, in British tabloid history. At this point, they are all co-conspirators in a smear campaign, and they know they are. They absolutely know they are. And many of them, I believe, are being paid by the palace. So there's going to be no distancing themselves from this now. And yeah, let's just look at exactly what it is that Meghan has been up against. A member of the royal family wearing a racist brooch to meet her. A senior member having conversations with Harry about how dark Archie's skin colour might be. Not correcting the lie that Meghan made Kate cry. Removing Meghan's name from Archie's birth certificate. Telling Meghan to be 50% of herself. Doing nothing when she said that she needed mental help. Doing nothing about the abuse and hate from the tabloids and royal reporters. No investigation about that, no. Leaking information to her about the media. Publicly claiming that they were going to investigate her for bullying. And then saying that they wouldn't make the results public. Broke their NDA and had her staff provide information that will be Jason Knopf to the tabloids when the tabloids were suing Meghan. Sorry, when Meghan was suing the tabloids for printing her private letter. But we are all to believe, that this foreign American woman went up against the 2,000-year-old institution and bullied them. Only a fool believes that. Only the brain-dead royalists believe that. The brain-dead royalists who want to believe that it's the black woman who's always the bully. Boy. Interesting times we're living in, folks. Interesting times. This is a whole information warfare thing that we've got going on here. B-Tone, Powell, Meghan never bullied anyone. These liars are now trying to cover up their lies with this latest move. Simply, there was no bullying from Duchess Meghan. Hope Jason Knopf and William choke on their lie. Although most certainly choking on their lie. Yes, 99. We have all the receipts. I've got so many receipts. Here are the receipts. Who was doing the bullying here? It was the staff. Calling an accomplished woman Meghan, the degree wife. Kate Middleton was moving pieces to ensure Meghan and Harry would relocate to Africa. Yes, let's send the biracial one to Africa. The Queen assured William Meghan is banned from wearing jewelry worn by Diana. I don't actually believe that was the Queen. I think that was Angela Kelly. And speaking of Angela Kelly, the Queen's dresser, the royal family have all the time to investigate Meghan on baseless claims, but legitimate claims made against the royals for not just bullying, physical abuse, sexual abuse. They have no time to investigate any of that. You had the Queen's dresser saying that she was driven to drinking and stress. Princess Anne having furious outbursts at royal servants. Prince Andrew shouting and yelling at female staff. Prince Charles once allegedly choking a staff member and ripping a sink out of the wall in anger. There was also a Buckingham Palace typewriter who accused one of Prince Charles's staff of racially abusing her. There were also reports of Jimmy Savile being sexually inappropriate with female staffers at St. James Palace. So the royal family have no time to investigate any of that. But they can come out with baseless claims about Meghan. And now they're trying to spin this to make it look like the reason they're not releasing the report is to protect Meghan, protect the person that you have done nothing to protect the last 4 or 5 years when she was being hounded. They have said nothing about the smear campaign in the media against Meghan because they are part of the smear campaign. They have driven the smear campaign and they continue to drive the smear campaign. Oh, exhausting. Legs, it's weird that the only person that had bullying allegations was a biracial family member. No one else. Not Pedro, not Anne, not Charles, not Betty. No. And no one can find anyone who ever had a bad thing to say about Meghan before she walked into that trash family. No one has ever said. This is someone who worked in Hollywood for over a decade. She worked with the UN. She worked with multiple organizations. She had jobs even outside of her acting. She was a calligrapher. All of these people throughout her entire 30-something years of life, before she married into that trash family, you cannot find one person, to the point where there are multiple occasions where we've now seen that they have tried to pay people to lie about her. That's how you know there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that they have on Rachel, Meghan Markle. Nothing. They have nothing. And the bit that gets me the most is that you have royalists, monarchists, the racists in the United Kingdom who would sooner believe this individual who has the cleanest slate of anyone I think I've ever known in my entire life. Nothing. You literally cannot find anything about Meghan that's negative. Nothing. It's quite extraordinary. They would rather believe that that person is a monster and give her more heat than Pedro, the nonce, the person who was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. They would rather give Meghan more heat than Charles, who was friends with Britain's most prolific paedophile, Jimmy Savile. It's just astonishing. And at this point, they can lie all they want. They know exactly why it is that they dislike Meghan. Marcy, Duchess came into that on-royal family, exposed them all. They're lying, bullying, and cheating, yes. Useless blands with nothing to offer anyone. Legs, thank you so much for the super chat. The staff member for Charles was Elizabeth Burgess. Yes, thank you for saying her name. Remember her name, everyone. In fact, I think that Charles observed it and said nothing. Yes. And her case was actually thrown out in the end because the royal family the unroyal mafia have a law where you can't sue for racism or sexism. Well, I think even for disability. So they're completely and utterly covered. Okay, I'm going to put the link in the chat. If anybody wants to join, please do come up. Don't be shy. And please just remember to have your cameras off and you can come up and speak. B10 Power, William will never experience true happiness because he's hate-filled being on the face of this earth. Jason Knopf was in it for promotion money. William paid for the lies to be told. And, you know, I really do hope that those individuals who they tried to push into this mess, so the staff members who they tried to get, to say that Meghan was bullying them and who pulled out because they obviously wanted none of it. I do hope that they grow a conscience and just speak out and speak to somebody. And I really need for the international press to grow a pair. I mean, this is a major story. Sandy, Pedro drove his car through Palace Gates as reported. He verbally abused staff. Margaret and her mother were also brutal staff. Well, I'm not surprised because these are people who they've been told their entire lives that they can do pretty much anything they want. say anything they want, do anything they want. Oh. Gail Lewis, by not releasing the bullying report, they leave doubt out there as to Meghan's innocence. Well, I mean, Meghan actually asked for the bullying report. Wait, let me just find. Yeah, Meghan asked for the bullying report. And Jenny Afia, on that ridiculous BBC documentary that they did, it was like The Princess and the Press, she even said, show us a report. So where is it? Show us the report. We want to see the report. Meghan's not trying to stop the report from coming out. Let us see it. Also, just a little throwback to when Meghan's friend was on Good Morning Britain, she said, and V quoted, I also know why someone had to leave, and it was for gross misconduct, and the truth will come out. There's plenty of emails and text about that. So they've got all the receipts. Meghan has all the receipts. She's got nothing to hide here. It's the royal institution, mainly at this point, we're talking about Kensington Palace and William. It's them that have got everything to hide. And I think they've just gone into full-on panic mode now. I mean, isn't it just crazy how we are 2 days away from William's Big 4-0? And as someone said, you know, William has made this entire interview a personality trait. It's like we're still going back to this all this time later. And quite frankly, there's really only one thing to say about this whole thing with the bullying report and Meghan being a bully. And that is this.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied. It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied. It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
Yeah, it was all a lie. All a big darn lie. This is not going to end well for the royals. It's not going to end well. I'll be interested to know what's going on in Charles's camp, because Charles is ruthless, but he's not messy. And this is just not something that I think that he would entertain, knowing that there would be a paper trail. Dorothy Ross, and remember they wanted a man to say that Meghan had slept with him, but he would not play. Yes, that was Simon Rex. And Simon Rex is doing amazing right now. His career has really taken off. He's winning awards. He's getting roles. So that's what you get for being a good person, staying on the right side of history. Because can you imagine having lied about Meghan Markle, about Duchess Meghan, on your record when all of this comes out? Because it will all come out eventually. It will. JJ, is karma coming for the big snake? I think it is. I believe it is. Karen, going to add you to the stream, darling. Go on, you can speak.
Hi, Annie. How you doing?
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for joining the podcast.
Okay, you're welcome. Oh man, this is crazy. This is so crazy. I'm waiting for this bullying information to come out, and now this is the second time that they're trying to delay it, and now they're trying to bury it. Are you kidding me? This is how they're trying to damage her reputation, damage her name. The thing is that they already put it out there, okay? And they need to come out and own it and represent it.
Yes, of course.
Okay? They need to do that. If they decide that they're going to bury this, then they need to clear her name. Okay? Because this is no different from the Johnny Depp thing that just went on the other day, where he was, clearing his name. Okay? When you put something out there about someone, and bullying is a serious thing, and you decide that you're going to, push this aside. Why? Because you're royals? I don't think so. Okay, they need to clear her name.
I think that they've put themselves into such a pretzel at this point that I don't think they know how to get themselves out of it, to be honest. I mean, because how do you get yourself out of this now? Because now you've got a situation where people on both sides are asking to see the report. So they've really put themselves in it now.
They are not going to get themselves out of this. Okay, even if Meghan doesn't follow it up and demand that this case go on, and she gets and the report puts out there. Okay, the people want the report out there because you know something, you put that on the world stage. Okay, calling someone a bully. This is a serious thing. This is something that happens in the schools. It happens.
Oh, sorry, Karen. I think we lost you for a second there. Okay, Karen, I think maybe your internet went out, so I'm gonna just mute you for a second. I'm gonna add Rahini instead. Hello, Rahini.
Hello, gang. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Also, one sec. Frederica, I will add you
in the royal family.
Sorry, Frederica, I will add you after Rahini. I just need you to switch your camera off, please, hon. Go on, Rahini.
Oh.
Hello?
Yes. Go
yes.
on.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. That is what I'm screaming right now. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Show us the report.
Yeah.
Show us the report. Show us the report.
Yeah.
If it was so profound that it led to policy changes, then you know what? I would like to know what policy changes you had, what policies you had that was problematic in the first place. I'm just saying, what policy changes? You understand me? In the first place, tell me exactly what it was in the first place. Could it be that you had a problem dealing with taking orders from somebody who was a few hues darker than you? I wonder.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. They're talking about policy changes now when there's been a string of bullying allegations, and even worse, coming from other royal members going back decades. And now is when you're talking about policy changes. Yeah, you're right. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Yes, Kathy G. That's why they're not invited to other royal events. They're messy.
But if it's so serious that the policy had to change, okay, then the report should come out.
Yeah.
For the public to see why the policy had to change. And why, you brought this out to the world, accusing someone of bullying. It's like you're accusing someone of killing someone. That's what you were doing. Bullying is a serious thing. Okay? And you were accusing this woman that you actually bullied of bullying. So what are you saying?
Yeah.
Okay, and the thing is that you are still doing, the thing is that just the act of them bringing that out, at the time that they brought it out, that was an act of bullying.
Yes.
Okay? Because you're trying to bully her not to speak out. Okay? You're trying to shut her up. Okay? So because she was, interview was coming out, okay, that they did with Oprah Winfrey, all of a sudden, you decide to smear her name, okay, that she bullied staff. Let the staff come out and speak. Let this be a public affair. Let this be a public court case.
Mhm.
Let her be able to defend herself. She doesn't need protection from the royals. She does not need it. She's never gotten it. She don't need it now.
Mm.
Okay? So please don't be protecting her.
Mhm.
She can defend herself. She's capable of doing that.
Indeed. Right, I'm gonna add Frederica. Thank you very much for that, Karen. I'm gonna add Frederica to Frederica. Oh, I need you to turn off the background noise or put in some earphones, Frederica, and turn off your camera, and then I'll add you. But Rahini and Karen, you can jump in while Frederica's doing that if you want to say anything.
Yeah, you know something?
Mm-hmm.
This is something that we speak to our children about. Okay? We teach them in school, we teach them at home. Okay?
Mm.
This is something that goes on the internet. Okay? People had committed suicide because of being bullied.
Mm.
Okay? And this is something that, you know, it just continued to go on and on in this family.
Mm.
Okay? They're talking about mental health, mental illness, and going around talking about children development. And this is what you're doing. You're still trying to silence people.
Yes, and using the highest seat of power to be able to do
Do
so.
it. Okay,
Yeah.
this is a form of bullying. Okay? Yeah. Also, everything that this woman did, okay, in her previous life to marry Prince Harry, okay, while married to Prince Harry, and even currently now, okay, every single thing that she has been doing, okay, they are following it, they're copying it, they're replicating it. What do you think that is? That is a form of bullying.
Yes.
Okay, and you're going around the place preaching about mental health, and that is mental illness.
Mm.
So I don't know what they're trying to teach young people today, what they're going into schools and teaching, and they need to stop. And these parents need to stop their kids from, listening to these people or taking pictures with these people, because they are preaching the wrong things.
Yes.
They're going out there and preaching one thing, and their examples and actions are totally the opposite.
Yeah, and I said this on the podcast when we were talking about Grenfell. At this point, I'm utterly ashamed and disgusted at the adults who keep allowing their children to be photographed with these people. And I do think if I was an adult with children, I would say to my kids, if the royals show up to your school, unless it's Harry and Meghan, you are not to take pictures with these people, especially if they are a child of color. You are not going to be used as a prop. Frederica, should we try again? Frederica, I think you can speak now.
Does this work?
Oh, gonna have to remove you. Yeah, just remove the live feed. Just audio. Just be on audio. So you should see a button to turn off your cam. You should see like mute and start cam at the bottom. So just turn off. Yes, brilliant. And you should be able to speak now. Let me just unmute yourself. So you must have hit the mute button. So keep the camera off, but yes.
Okay, is that good?
Yes, Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we can hear you
Okay,
now. Go ahead.
I have, yeah, I did. I have start cam and it's off now.
Yes. Fantastic. All right, go right ahead, sweetheart.
Online with you.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone can hear you. Go right ahead.
People can hear me?
Yes, they can hear you. You can
And what
say
I
your
wanted to
piece.
say, because I'm over here in Germany, and a
Okay.
lot of you are over in in England, in the United Kingdom, and um, some of you are in the United Kingdom, and some of you are in the US.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been talking.
Oh, I don't. Okay, if you've been
Okay.
talking, we haven't been able to hear you. So anything that you've said, do you just want to say it again? Was there anything that you wanted to say about the bullying allegations or about the royal family in general? Or
Yeah, because over here in Germany. Hello?
yeah, you were going out a bit. Say that again.
I said over here in Germany, it's been they were very, yes, here in Germany.
Oh, sorry, Frederica. Your connection is quite bad. Just try that one more. Let's give it one more time. Say that again. In Germany, they were saying what?
And in Germany, they have been about the bullying allegations, and they were very fair, which means that they were not smearing Meghan.
Okay,
Here we
sorry.
have the side.
Okay. All right. Sorry, darling. I'm gonna have to mute you because you keep going in and out. But I think I kind of got what you were saying, that they were trying to be fair about the bullying allegations in Germany. So that's interesting to hear how the German press have been covering it. Thank you for letting us know. Um, but yeah. What do we expect, guys and dolls, at this point? Um, this has been what, 4 or 5 years going, and it's really just a tick tock now to the end. I think that after Betty passes, it's just all gonna fall to pieces. Rahini, did you want to say something?
Yeah, they are running scared, and it shows. It
Mm,
shows that they're running scared. And for an institution, for an institution like that, that has so much importance for their to present as if you are terrified when this is a situation of your own making. It doesn't
mm,
look good for them. It doesn't make the British look good on the world stage. It makes them
mm,
look really, really bad. And you wonder if there's anybody there to say to them, you know what? Maybe you should just end it. How about you say, you know what? We're sorry. We screwed up. Let's
yeah,
be better. And
yeah,
that and that's the solution, you know. The solution is to admit that you were
yes,
wrong, to
yes.
admit that they don't even need to use the R word. They could use the term unconscious bias.
Mm,
I mean, it's right in front of you, to hand it to you on a silver platter. Use these
mm,
terms and say, listen, we understand the problem, we understand the mistake for not having diversity within the ranks. This is the
mm.
environment that you foster. And it's very sad that she had to go through this. We're sorry. Let's do better. And they can't revise history because the internet, they can't.
Yeah, we've got too many receipts. There's actually just one more thing that I wanted to show, because this is this is completely unrelated to Harry and Meghan and the royal family, but completely related to the culture of abuse and discrimination that has been seen with Harry and Meghan and the royal family. So just trigger warning, some of these messages contain racial abuse. This was posted by someone on Twitter, and it reminded me of the messages that were posted by a UKIP politician's girlfriend about Meghan and Harry. So basically, this woman's sister made an acquaintance with a Karen, not knowing that she was a Karen, and they had a slight disagreement. And said Karen said this about this woman. Now, just so you know, this woman is a black woman who is with a white man and has a biracial child that you can see there in the background. And in the messages, abusive messages that she started sending this woman, she says, got a problem with my insightful views, you unintelligible, insignificant nobody. How you like them now? Honestly, I find it so funny when people like you actually think you have something to say to people like me, like shut the F up and go have a swim in your delusional pool of failures, you waste woman with an identity problem. You're so weak and pathetic, you haven't blocked me, you keep reading my views, probably because I'm white, and you care about what white people think of you. If you think for a second that you can directly or indirectly disrespect me, you really are deluded. I'll put you in your place. Where have we heard that term before? Honey, I don't tolerate disrespect. You're such an ugly animal that you tower over your husband in pictures, way bigger than him out of proportion. You belong in the jungle somewhere. My friend in the club, remember he thought your friend was attractive, not you. White men don't usually find women like you attractive unless they have a weird fetish. More common for black men to find white women attractive because they get sick of the fake wigs, fake eyelashes, and skin pigmentation that black women have, I guess. She then goes on to say, you even live in Bromley, which is the borough with the highest white population in London. If this ain't a black girl pretending to be white with a white husband and white friends and white children who lives in Bromley. Now the woman, the black woman then responds by saying, please stop messaging me. The Karen then responds with monkey emojis. The black woman then responds by saying, please do not contact me again. I will be making contact with the police to report this as harassment. And then it just goes on and on and on and on. And this is a woman in question. Now, I've taken out some of her face. But this is the attitude that we're dealing with in this country. A woman who was just minding her own business. And then just started getting attacked and harassed by this Karen here. And so when people tell me that this situation with Meghan doesn't matter, that it doesn't have wider implications, it does, because it's a reflection of what we see so much in our everyday lives. And I think, I can't remember who it was the other day, we had a speaker who said, watching this whole situation unfold had really hurt her emotionally and affected her emotionally. And even for me, there was a time when it did, because you look at this amazing woman of color who walked into this institution, brilliant as she is. Not only was that not good enough, it was also too much for them. And they could not stand to see this woman of color be with their white prince. And here you see an everyday Karen abusing a black woman for having a white husband and white friends, because I guess and living in a nice area, because I guess we don't deserve to live in nice areas or have, you know, a diverse group of friends if you are a black woman. But sorry, legs. But there you go. This is why this situation with Meghan, not only does it matter, but it needs to. We need to do all that we can to just expose the royal family, because I feel like a lot of these type of people feel emboldened because of what's been going on. It's like the way people, you know, racist people in America felt emboldened when Trump got elected. But yeah, legs. Did you want to say something?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. First, I want to say thanks for doing this. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
And happy Father's Day and Juneteenth to all of those who celebrate it. It's the first year that we're doing it. I don't know. It's a bit difficult sometimes to read this stuff and watch it due to the fact that being in America and a person of color, to see similar tropes that always come out being projected on a world stage, and it throws me off. And I'm not going to speak for everyone in the UK because I'm not from the UK. I'm from the US, in the Midwest. In fact, that when I see, particularly your commentators, I say commentators instead of journalists, due to the fact that in America we do have opinion hosts, and people we know they're opinion hosts, and some do not, but you do have journalists which have a sense of ethics. And when I see people repeating things that someone else said without checking them or without pushing back, it bothers me. And now I will say, you know, like Fox News, as well as I feel like Good Morning America here has kind of been doing that. Well, you know, people say she's controversial, but I'm like, well, where's the proof? Like, if you're going to say a claim like that, say why you believe she's controversial instead of just leaving it out there. And so to see people publish and to actually publish and say, like, if they do this, then it's a problem. I'm very confused by the royal expert because I feel like they don't have credentials. I feel the credentials are that, oh, I talked to this person for 5 minutes and therefore I'm an expert. But I'm very confused in a sense of that. If you are an expert, what makes you an expert? What credentials give you the expert? Do you have a degree in journalism? Do you have a degree in the royals, whatever that means? And if that is true, and you complain about possibly Harry and Meghan leaking, but isn't your job just to leak? You're supposed to have inside knowledge. And so it's very confusing to me to watch this and to be like, is anyone buying this? So I feel when I see people buying it, I'm like, well, I'm very confused by this. But to be fair, it did give me hope during the Jubilee or the Jubilee that when I saw people cheering Harry and Meg, and I was like, oh, good. So the people don't believe it. It's just that based off of what we've seen is that the people who are in that society who believe the masses are below them own the media. And due to that fact, they will always put their narrative, whether or not it's true, that we can all see that Harry and Meghan were booed leaving, but they double over because of Bojo. But no one questions that. No one pushed back. And soon as that came out, I see Fox News popping up over here like, oh, they were booed. And I'm like, well, but that's not true. I literally watched it. But no pushback because you're allowed to have that opinion piece. So I don't know. It throws me off, which you've seen me several times, always commenting on certain things. And I just can't imagine in a world where if I was uninformed, that like to buy into this would bother me. And I feel that I came into this after I saw them abusing her when she was pregnant. I really didn't care about the royals. The only thing I knew about the royals was Diana. And
Mm.
so I knew Diana had kids, and I was like, oh, that's William and Harry. And then I started seeing more and more when Harry married Meghan, this bias that I'm like, wait, that's happened to me. So it just flabbergasted me to think that I guess he's coming here for the earth flop. So he wants liberal voices, but he does
Mm.
everything he does is conservative. So I'm just very confused, and that he believes this will be a winning strategy. And I think
Yeah,
I'll leave
because
it at that because
please, sorry to interrupt you there, but that's actually a very good point that you've made, and please do let me know as a Brit, are as a as a collective, do you think that conservatives in America would be interested in something like Earthworm?
see, and that's the weird part about him. They wouldn't. His whole point is to be conservationist and climate change thing. Conservatives hate that. And so I'm like, so okay, you're not applying for the liberals because they're like, you're riding these helicopters, you have 4 homes, and yet you're going against people like that you shouldn't go to space, but those are actually the people that you should be supporting. But you want people of color as well as people who are liberal here to buy into that, but they're not. They're the ones that actually are educated. They're the ones that are actually not ignorant of your actions. So you won't get them. So how do you get them? For the jubbly, you pay off them, and particularly people of color from the U.S. to come, and then your press does this thing against Alicia Keys, and she's like, yeah, the Queen asked me to do that. So if I was Alicia Keys, I would be like, peace out. Don't ever ask me for anything else. And they even did it for Tom Cruise, which I'm like, I'm not necessarily a fan of his. I like some of his movies, but I'm still not a fan. But they still did those articles that try to degrade him for touching Miss
For Catherine, yeah.
K, and then yet lift her up by saying they're with Tom Cruise. I am very confused by the it's like they double market to see what hits the wall.
Yeah.
But they just don't land with their like with any of their messaging. It's literally all over the place.
Yeah, and
And
I mean, I'm not a very big fan of Tom Cruise either, but I know that he's someone that is very meticulous with his public image, the way he's seen, and I'm sure that he would not have appreciated being slandered by the British press for simply giving a lady a hand, as any gentleman would have in such a situation, especially when her own husband isn't paying attention to her. And that whole moment was meant to be about, oh, look at us. Now we want to be Hollywood with Tom Cruise. And then they threw him under the bus.
exactly. So it's very confusing because first, her fashion choices, which you try to steal from the Duchess of Sussex, that dress actually literally didn't fit her. It just slid off, which is why she was dragging it. So
Len,
Indian
Len,
gentleman.
I thought I was the only person.
Okay, good.
I'm so glad that you're saying this. I thought I was the only person. I can understand how confused you are because I am confused myself. Okay? Because everything that they have knocked Meghan is everything that they're doing right now. They are stepping into every one of her shoes right now. Okay? Going to the UN, having you talks with MPs, picking up what women's talking about women's concern and all these different things. You heard about, oh, well, she's very strong and advocating for women and all that stuff. And, I don't know how that's going to work with the monarchy. And, she takes on tough subjects in regards to women. I don't know how that's going to work with the monarchy. And all of a sudden, you're talking about you're going into women domestic abuse, going to the UN and speak to speak about women. these are things that Meghan came there with. Meghan went there with assets. Okay? She went there with assets more than anyone in there. And who joined there. She went there with all that. Okay? And you knock her down with it. Okay? And don't even talk about the dress with Tom Cruise. That is so ridiculous. Okay? People said it looked good. It should not. They shouldn't say that because it looked ridiculous. Very awful. If I was that designer, I didn't want that. No way.
So I don't know if you saw this, Karen, but the design, I can't remember his name, but he's actually friends with Meghan. There's pictures of them together from years ago.
Oh,
and
yes,
she wore
yes,
a very similar
yes.
dress. Yeah.
Yes, I did. It looked terrible. It was terrible. Okay. And all this cosplaying of Meghan and things, all this is part of bullying. Okay. Think about your child, okay, going to school. Okay. Going to school, getting dressed, going to school, and the bullies coming into school. Okay. I remember seeing, shows where the bully is coming in and taking away your kids' lunch. Okay. Telling them, well, you don't look good, take off their whatever hat they're wearing on their head and stuff. And these people are cosplaying every single thing that Meghan does. Everything. Okay? And you're telling me that's not what are you trying to do? What kind of message are you sending out there?
I think you have a very good point, because I think I was trying to figure out what are they doing by constantly replicating Meghan. What they're trying to do.
They're trying to erase her.
Exactly.
They're trying to overshadow her. They're trying to wipe her out. I mean, to say she's not there. Can you just imagine, Len? Okay? Think about them doing this now. Can you imagine when she was in there? What was happening?
Exactly. I think it's two parts. I believe you're right that they're trying to erase her. But in two, they're trying to embiggen, obviously, the Chambridges, particularly Kate, by doing who wore it better. But then in terms of the erasure, what they want to do is that show Kate in these outfits later on and just ignore Meghan. So it's a
comparison.
Well, it's not working because they're still trying to make fetch happen, and fetch ain't happening.
No, it's not
She's
working.
not, because it's not working. Listen, one of the values, quote unquote, of the royal family is that they drive the economy. You talk about the Kate effect, and I think I've said it before. Like, I like fashion, and I have never seen any one of these Instagram girls, and I follow quite a bit, talking about anything Kate has ever worn. Never. But every single time Megan wears something, it is a flurry on Instagram. So it is not working.
Yeah, but one of the
And
things that they're
how
missing.
else do you tell them that? How many
Yeah,
times do you tell them that this is not working?
one of the things that they're missing, okay? Like you mentioned that you're into fashion. I'm into it. One of the things that they're missing is not the outfit. Okay? It's the inside of that person that brings that outfit out.
Yes.
Okay? That's what brings that outfit out. The mood, that's what brings that outfit out. Okay? And that's why Meghan, the outfits are nice, but she wears the outfit. It doesn't wear her.
Yes.
Okay?
Exactly.
She carries that outfit. That is the difference.
Yeah.
So it will never work with them.
Exactly. See, the issue is they want to seem modern, but yet they won't get rid of these institutions that limit their ability to interact with the common or just the normal person. They want to be above the fray and above the masses.
They want the illusion of modernity.
Exactly. And I personally think besides the xenophobia, they want to have that, we have an American that needs to kneel to us. And that and I'm of the mind, I'm sorry, We fought a war. We are not part of the Commonwealth, and we have our own opinions. And it bothers me when I learned about the Commonwealth in a sense that the visa status for that was not equal. And so, in the sense that you can go to Jamaica from the UK, but Jamaicans have to have a visa to go to the UK? How does that make any sense? Like, I was not aware of that until actually I heard about the Windrush generation. And so I was just very, very confused on how the equality of how you perceive people that are part of perhaps the Commonwealth.
Just to add to that, every single one of the formerly black Commonwealth countries have to go through that. Australians don't really have to go through that, neither do Canadians. All of us have to. Even those of us in, Trinidad and Tobago is a republic, but we are voluntarily there, right? Which means we still send money to there to collectively from the English speaking Caribbean. It's a little over $27 billion pounds a year. That number is so large that when each of our nations do our budgets, they don't even mention it. And that is the price for not being owned anymore. It was part of something called the gentlemanly agreement. But they will never tell you that.
Wow.
They will never speak these things. This is why not one of the British publications brought on anybody from the repertory organizations to explain to them what reparations could really mean, because that truth would get there. But instead, they choose to push the lie that they sent 300 million pounds. Never. And as somebody who worked for the who worked with the Central Statistical Agency in my country, I can tell you that is not true.
Hmm.
And it's just very weird to me. Maybe it's just me being American that just that in fact when they visit that people pay for their visits. I can't fathom that. People
I,
who
I find that very ridiculous, because these are countries that they are representing, saying that they are in the Commonwealth. Okay, in the Commonwealth, according to them, what I'm understanding is meaning that you know you're in there. The Queen is the head of state, and of some of them, because they are supposed to be helping these countries, right? But then when they visit these countries, okay, that are not wealthy, these countries has to pay for that. Okay? If they're supposed to be helping these countries and going to visit these countries, shouldn't they be paying for all of their expenses?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are these countries paying for it?
Mm-hmm.
see, I think it's so annoying because I think the reason the countries at least are paying for it is because of that old trope. We are always seen as the aggressors. And so, what we want to do as people of color, we want to be welcoming, we want to seem nice, and we want to seem
Yeah.
like, okay, this is the way it is to be gentlemanly based off of their terms. And because of that, you end up getting the bill. And I just can't, like, because I'm not part of the Commonwealth. So that's why it throws me off. And I just can't. And I've only started paying attention to this recently due to the fact how Meghan was treated, because I've been treated that way as one person who exists in a lot of being in the Midwest, depending where you are, is a lot of white spaces. And
Mm.
it's a lot of people who are nice and they're generally nice, but then they do that, like that nice aggressiveness in terms of, well, you speak so well. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't
Mm.
I? Or, oh, you're just so nice. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like they don't understand that they're actually being passive aggressive and they don't understand
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. Exactly. And you get this same behavior in the schools, in the workplaces. You know, all the time. You get it. Okay? I've being treated the same way. So as soon as I see it, okay, I know what it is. I can call it out. Like this is just ridiculous. It's all face value and nothing else. Nothing else. Okay?
I feel like often as a Black person, you do very much get put in a box, and people who have either people who are racist, or who may not necessarily be racist but have not gotten rid of their um, unconscious biases, tend to have this very one-dimensional view of Blackness. And if you don't fit that one-dimensional view of Blackness, sometimes they don't know what to do with you. So you get comments like you just said, Legs, oh, you speak very well, or you dress very nice, or because you don't fit that one-dimensional idea that they have. I get this often because of the way I speak. Well, I speak the way I speak because of a particular part of London that I grew up in. If I grew up in another part of London, I would probably perhaps speak with a little bit more slang. So I think sometimes it's just and then you're also expected to just kind of like smile along and deal with it and not react in any kind of way as if it's not offensive. And then when you do react, you're labeled the angry Black person.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. And I think this is one of the things is I wanted to ask, because they're claiming that one of the things I think you find is that when you're being bullied as a Black person, okay, you're being bullied, and because you're not going to take it and you're trying to defend yourself, okay, all of a sudden you becomes the one who is the bully, because you're defending yourself from the bullying.
I totally agree.
100%.
It was at one point when I lived in Chicago a lot of my life.
So I'm thinking this is the same situation with Meghan in here, because for what she was going through inside of there, okay, of course she's going to defend herself, and she become Dutch's difficult, and she's standing up for herself. All of a sudden she is the bully. So they're trying to redirect this bullying allegation.
Exactly. And it's been times where when I worked in retail in Chicago, when I was there, I worked at a store. It's more or less defunct now. It's kind of Sears. And I knew exactly everything that was on sale. So when I went to a different Sears, and this happened to be in a different part of town, mostly white, I noticed that some pants I was buying had a sale sign. And I was like, well, I don't think they're on sale, but you know what? I'll buy them anyway. And so the person at the register told me they weren't on sale. But I was like, oh, well, but that sign says they're on sale. So then she told me that, well, no, it's not on sale. I was like, well, I believe it's your policy that if you left a sign up, that's not the purchaser fault. That's actually you all's fault. So you actually give me that price. And she told me, no, I'm not supposed to. And I looked at her and I'm like, well, you see right here on your register where it says you're supposed to give me that price, you're supposed to give me that plus an additional 20% off. She's like, no, I'm not supposed to. And I'm like, can I speak with your manager? And then the manager comes and defends her. So this line builds up behind me, and it's not about white people behind me. And they're like, why are you taking so long? And I'm like, I am literally being discriminated against. I actually know these rules, and they're literally written here. And you're treating me as the aggressor here, but I'm actually being discriminated, and no one cared. And it's annoying, and it's dehumanizing to know that you know your own rights, and you're gaslighting me at this moment. And that's how I feel when I see the Justice Sussex like, well, they clearly bully me. And they're like, well, we're not. And we're like, well, could we whip out the receipts about you all saying all these negative things about her? Well, that doesn't count as bullying. And it's like, wait, so what counts in your mind? So I don't know. It's various things that they do that continue to irk me in a sense, particularly when they're using children of color, because in the society in which I'm at, my partner, she happens to be white. our child is diverse, and he's light most of the year, but sometimes during summer he gets a tan. And the thing is that the school asks, "Oh, can we use your kids for pictures?" And I'm like, "No," due to the fact that he probably might be the only one to have a tan during that time, and I know you might want to use him every time you get, just because you just show the school is diverse. And I'm like, you will not use my child for this. So when I see the royals next to people of color, and I'm like, wait, where were the parents? Like, I don't blame the children. It confused me because that would not be my child next to William. It would not be my child next to Kate.
Yeah.
And perhaps maybe the parents didn't know that those seats were allotted, but I feel like some people aren't respecting the wills of the parents in this case. And because they're royals, they're like, well, everyone would want to be next to the royals. But I am not your father, and I am not your income. You will not use my child, and you will not use me.
Indeed.
You see, and I agree with that, because where I am, they usually send out a survey. They usually send out a waiver or an application asking if you would if you would want your kids to be photographed and it in public. You can answer yes or no. The schools will send that out to you. So I don't know if they're doing this in or the schools that these royals are visiting, but it should not be happening. Like, these kids should not be exploited. Okay, like this.
Indeed.
They should not be. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Okay, they should not be exploited like that. Okay, and from what I'm thinking, okay, this white privilege.
I just wanted to ask, just so we can wrap up. Thank you all so much for sharing your experiences, and I think it's always very useful to reflect on what we're seeing in these people's lives in this big institution, and reflect on what's happening, what that means for the every day person, and how that plays out in everyday life. So thank you so much, all of you, for sharing your experiences. But I'll just end with this one last question, and you can all give me your opinions. Where does the royal family, where does Kensington Palace and William go from here? This web that they've weaved for themselves.
Well, if they're smart, they would either admit their folly or just end it. Just end it. Just stop.
Yeah, yeah. There's a couple of things I want to say. They do need to stop this, because it's just spinning out of control and getting more and more ridiculous. Okay. Len, you were mentioning about him coming with this earth shot and all that stuff. Isn't this something that people has been dealing with years ago in terms of climate change? I think it was John Kerry, or is it Al Gore or John Kerry, who is leading the climate change and has been doing it for years. Okay, so why is it that the US needs William to come and talk about climate change?
Yes,
okay,
that's a very good point. Yes, and Al Gore, wasn't he like a big climate guy as well, right?
Exactly. Okay, so why this is a copy. This is other people has been leading on this for years. Okay, and here he is coming to to take it over from these doctors and what is it? Is it Al Gore or whoever was leading on this? Like, what is it new that he has to bring? There's nothing. Okay.
Yes.
And now I heard him in his speech at the Queen's Jubilee there. He's jumping onto the sustainable messaging as well too. No, you know something? Harry and Meghan is the queen and king and queen of sustainable. So stay off of it. Okay?
And
I want to mention I want to do a correction for one thing. Yesterday I was listening to your podcast.
Okay, go on.
Afterwards. And it was it anyway, one of the ladies came on, and she was mentioning about about Kate, and she was going on about the flower, and I just wanted to correct that. Kate is England's rose. Meghan is the US flower. Okay? It's two different. Okay? Kate is the English rose. Meghan is the US flower. She is the lily of the valley, the forget-me-nots, the carnations, the everything else. Okay?
Hmm.
Let's separate them.
Okay, you said
She is the American flower. She's the American flower.
All right, thank you, Karen. Thank you so much. Okay, Legs, over to you. You get the last word. Where does Kensington Palace, William, where do they go from this now that they've weaved themselves a big old web?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So they had many times to fix this. The way I envision what they should do, but I don't think they would do. If I was William, I would personally apologize to Harry and Meghan. 2, I personally would just let the earth flop go somewhere because he's being hypocritical to it all the time. So it makes no sense to try. He doesn't dig trees or does do anything that, just get rid of it. But do the apology, but then reconnect and then actually use his platform to actually do good. The problem I foresee in this, the money that comes in from them not doing anything is much greater. They would rather pay off the royal rodents and the royal experts to do a spin for it than actually do anything. And right now they have a very good thing going. Like the royal experts and the royal rodents will just do whatever they say. And they get paid by the British taxpayer. Imagine when that money is off. If that money is off, some of those royal rodents can't do that. Some royal experts can't do that. A lot of people lose their jobs for nothingness that they're doing. So they are trying to sustain that. But if they decide like, you know what? We don't want the money from the locals, yet we still have enough money that we will be able to sustain ourselves and highlight charities just because you actually care. I feel that people would actually like them and they would do well. They won't have that narcissistic characteristics. Well, they might have that, but they wouldn't have to enforce it. And then I feel that they might actually get popularity in terms of, while you actually do not consider yourself better than everyone else. You don't wear these weird outfits just because you feel that everyone else is the hoi polloi and you are above them. You actually are recognized that even though with a title that you were born with, you are a common man. And that's how I would feel.
All right. Thank you so much. Well, thank you to everyone who has come up and spoken today. I think this has been one of the most amazing chats that we've had. Just also want to say to Rory B, sorry, hun, I was not ignoring you. Just wanted to give everyone a chance to talk. And I'm so sorry about your aunt's funeral. Blessings to you and your family. And thank you for being here and spending time with us. I hope, if anything, it's given you just a little bit of relief. It's never easy to lose someone, and my condolences to you, hun, and thank you so much for the super sticker. And as always, thank you everyone so much for coming to this live. Listen, all we can do is push back against the lies. Like I've always said, being part of the squad is not a competition, it is a group sport. If you want to start a platform, start a YouTube, start a podcast, start a Twitter, start an Instagram, whatever it is, start a blog. I know that I've been very lazy with my blog, but especially I think after today, I think I definitely need to start with the writing as well as being on the podcast. But please do let your voices be heard. We are having an effect, guys and dolls. They are running scared. they would not be putting the Sussex Squad on their lips if they weren't scared. They would not be spending probably hundreds, sorry, not even hundreds, thousands worth of taxpayer money on trolls and bot farms and click farms to push back on social media if it wasn't having an effect. So keep speaking up, keep speaking out. Like Tina from Sussex Squad podcast used to say, like, this doesn't stop at Meghan. This is about, you know, little Tanisha in school, who, you know, people are going to look at her and think it's okay to bully her because we managed to bully and belittle someone in Meghan's position. So thank you as always to all of you. Wishing you a wonderful week, and yeah, let's dance our way out. Hope you all have a fabulous week, everyone. Bye. Oh, and thank you to the mods. Thank you so much. I'm so horrible. I forget to thank my moderators. Thank you to the mods. You are amazing. You do the Lord's work. All right, let's dance our way out, everyone.
I know I messed it up, but in my soul